daydream is so wonderful. Live life, breathe it. I know
de este lunes en 8 días. Son esas personas, eso no se preocupe. Y si estás tú, pues mejor porque tú me puedes ayudar.
Is it okay?
Sí, pero por favor, mira, como te digo, cuéntale el caso completo, porque si ella va a pensar que son clientes nuevos, cuéntale la situación, cómo sucedió todo, ¿sí? Para que ella sepa. Dime más o menos a qué horas te puedo llamar. Ellos están pidiendo la cita para este lunes en 8 días. Pero hoy o mañana me avisas por favor, que estoy súper pendiente de eso. Bueno, espero tu llamada. Gracias, Cristina.
Excuse me.
Aló, buenas tardes. Muchas gracias por atenderme. Quería saber si tienes agenda para la doctora Elena Vichy. Buenas, quería saber si tienes agenda para la doctora Elena. Buenas tardes. Gracias por atenderme. Quería saber si tienes agenda para la doctora Elena para pedir una cita. Sí, señora, es nuevo. Sí. Signa. ¿Y otro doctor que pueda hacer antes tienes? ¿Y hablan español? ¿Y qué fecha de octubre? Octubre, lunes, día 13. 13 de octubre. ¿Con el doctor que habla español? Español. Bueno, déjame yo confirmo para ver si esa fecha está bien y te vuelvo a llamar. ¿Qué necesitas? ¿El número de la póliza? ¿Cómo se llama el doctor, perdón, el que habla español? Litchfield. Bueno, perfecto. Te voy a confirmar la fecha y te llamo para tomar la cita. a qué horas las tienes? Perdón, porque sería para mitad de mi esposa, entonces voy a confirmar que las 4 vamos. Podríamos hacer como uno a la 1 y el otro a la 1:15. Una pregunta, yo tengo unas citas que son, digamos, como una de 21, una de 18 y una de 15. ¿Ellas también pueden ser atendidas por el doctor o por la distancia? En diferentes, las mismas edades. Entonces, para ellos podríamos también poner las días. ¿Qué día te empiezan a mañana a ver las citas para ir con ellos? Se podría poner a todas. Sí. ¿Y hablar español? ¿Cómo es? ¿Cómo se llama tu problema?
So I made the mistake of thinking I can print out my LSAT prep questions. I can't. I literally can't. Okay. Because you're not allowed to, or at least I'm not allowed to print out the PDF. Hold on. I can't print out the PDF, but it's okay. Because I have it here on the computer. I also got a new case to protect it because, like, I guess it fell before and I got a miniature vent. Very miniature. I didn't want a case that said too much or did too much because I was trying to stick with more the minimalist look. Oh, look, 119. Now that I'm growing up, you know. Let me go just handle some things before we get into this LSAT prep. It's 10:30. I should just start. Just some things that need to be handled. believe it or not, I was looking at my bills. Very believable, right? Something I would do during LSAT prep, right? And then, thank God I have zero. But then I came across my YouTube and it seemed so generically unpleasing. And I want to be able to pull and retain an audience. So I'm just trying something here. I only have all week to do LSAT prep. And this amount of pages left. And I couldn't print out my, argument structure and main point. I mean, I did get carried away because it was about like 44 pages for just sufficient and necessary reasoning. But it's okay. We got our secret pencil here, our secret rejuvenator, and secret nasal. It's not a secret. To heal some good, to inhale some good things for the test. Some water, some lip care. I wonder if I'm able to have all these things on the test. I don't think I tried it with them. I don't think you're supposed to try it, but I don't know if I brought lip gloss or if I just stayed ashy. Unsure. So I'm updating my visible to everyone. Welcome to my world. A place where clan meets grind. I want it to be more personable. Let's see, Alt press 3. I can't even find it. No time to figure it out. Welcome to my world, the place where glam meets grind. Glam meets grind. I'm a performing artist, MBA student, future entertainment attorney. Of course, a full-hearted beauty lover and Pilates babe, share my real Pilates babe, share my real journey unapologetically. From law school prep and studied I understand to do is soft girly teen individual. Story times and without doubt original music drops. This channel my channel is where pretty hustle energy thrives. Yeah, we thrive. We don't just live over here, baby. That's what we do. This isn't just oneness. This is the real miraculous. This isn't just one niche. This is the real miraculous, raw, evolving, ambitious, and multi-dimensional. Music, study life, beautiful, smooth, pause, movement, and balance. I'm gonna put equals. Music plus study life. I think this is personalizing it, which I enjoy. Just pausing. Equals balance. MLB, the Dolly, the Joker, Pretty Hustler. Everything Meraki from the Dolly, the Joker, Mahogany Love, Pretty Hustler. I should leave it as Milwaukee to Dolly, MBA, Barbie, Law, and Lifestyle, or if I should have what I do, music, blog, beauty, lifestyle. I think that's pretty straightforward because that's what I do. My TikTok, everything is the same. My email, where'd you get me? Everything with iCloud. Business increase, beautiful. And the title is Axe Little Wayne, and there's a picture of me. I think I'm gonna update that, and I'm gonna make it more personable and really like that's the girl. Like she's gotta have that type of vibe, you know. I think that's pretty cute and authentic. MBA, Barbie, Law and Lifestyle, and I can update that as well. But I really like my bio now. I like my bio now. What is happening for us?
You got to the other side.
It's a little delayed. I'm watching me on my computer, and I look so nerdish. Like, why am I like this? Sit up and get to work. It's 1:40. Start at 1:45. This concert was happening. I hate how they call it con service and con edison. Like, they know they're just conning people. It's so crazy. Like, how is that openly a thing? I understand laissez-faire, but like, sheesh. It's not a dedicated path. No problem. I added it as a bookmark to my home screen. Con service. I'm not going over with ice cream. I'm just not doing it. Okay. Can't wait to get my actual logging camera so I can like just preserve my phone batteries. Okay, so now this is structured. All the little nits and things I'm nitpicking at with my computer that was bothering me, I have now updated. I don't know if the bow is my signature or if the beaded hearts. Well, the beaded hearts is Milwaukee Way's signature. I think me as Miss Love should be able to do so. Hey. We'll figure that out. We're gonna keep the bow. But at 1:45, we'll jump right in because I also got an interview to do. That's another tab that's open. Like, I go put professional clothes on and answer questions from my dream internship. Isn't that something? And I gotta choose the field if I want it in law, the arts, or music, or just a combination of those two. I would really like that. I would really like an internship there. I just gotta find the right position and planned it. And I think, because of course I want to do an A&R position. Like, that's just the introduction to, like, the whole artistry world is get an A&R position. So once I land into an A&R position, I can see how I can simultaneously balance that in law school. I have to get to law school first, maneuver there, so I can even get back in. So now I can close this out because I'm going to do computer. I'm going to close my
Do I need to sign anything else? I'll sign it out. Thank you so much.
Canvas, no, canvas right now. I need to. Honestly, I want to get this done with. Oh, they want me to use Google Chrome anyway. Okay, now we're back on LSAT. It only took me 25 minutes. For people that are watching this, they have to get through all the gunk in my brain before we actually start studying. But hey, this is real life work. And yes, by the way, I did wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And literally, after I woke up at this time, I woke up at least. I went to shower. I ate some warm cereal for breakfast, read my Bible, and then I was out like a light since. I tried to stay up to start my homework, hence I started. I did 2 of this, so I was 2 of 3. Just not to do the internship. And there's issues there. And why? Because the issue here is that I went to sleep and I had a job on. But I have to be gentle with myself because it's no way that God wanted me to have that specific job. And I went to sleep. Well, I was already 35 minutes into the interview and it finished at 45, 11:45. And I didn't successfully do it before I started. So, everything happens for a reason. And whatever reason that happened, I'm okay with it. Because yes, I need employment. But I'm not just going to work just anywhere. And I know I didn't mean to play with those people's time that was trying to interview me like that. But, I can't go back in time and reverse it. And I'm not going to beat myself up about it. So, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the things that you say that you claim you need to do. Sorry. And I think that is completely okay because God is refining my heart and my brain and my brain for what specifically is for. And now all my clients is on my prep mode. I should have went to the stadium. I thought I had to reserve it. I ain't gonna lie. I could have went into the same room. And I waited and I sat here and I'm distracted by the outside noise. But, you know, I can't blame them. They're just living life. I gotta just live mine. So today is August 26th. It's 1:49. And it's Tuesday and I'm making tacos later. Oh yes, but so I went to sleep on the interview at 11 a.m. When I woke up, like I was trying to fight myself to get up, but I was just so tired. I'm like, I forced myself to get up when I literally don't have to. I felt energetic at 4. When I took that shower and I went back into that bed, I slept like a baby. And I woke up and I seen I was 35 minutes into my interview while I was doing homework, and I noticed, I was like, oh. I looked at my email and I said, oh. And I didn't set an alarm for it, and usually I do set an alarm for my interviews. However, I didn't set one. So maybe God didn't want me running right after school directly into someone's establishment to work when I can be using that time to allocate to study for my LSAT prep. Or I can be allocating that time to specifically a job that will pay me more virtually. I don't have to sit there and work for a paperwork company. What am I do? Be getting me a coffee and printing stickers? No. That's not what God wants me to do. At least not at this moment in my life. That's what He wanted me to do. I would have woke up for the interview. Because I'm very, on task and organized typically. I don't know why I didn't have an alarm set there. And I was supposed to do it on Monday, but I already had 2 interviews before that on Monday. And one of them, I think I did really well. And in the other one, I was like, it's a contract position. I'm like, okay. If I had my hair polished nicely, I would have been more confident. However, I had a headband on because I wasn't done with my wig install. Again, because of me sleeping in. However, I do enjoy my sleep. That's why I need to be a CEO. Like, there's no other job for me but CEO position because I enjoy my sleep. When I wake up, I'll get to what I need to do very effectively and efficiently because I'm well rested. Only job for me is CEO. Anyways, let me retake my argument structure. And I'm not going to review anything. I'm going to just see what I know from the skills that I picked up from reviewing yesterday after I completed it. And then after argument structure, hopefully around 2:30, I can get into my sufficient and necessary reasoning assignments. And I also, before this, I've been saying I wanted to watch an argument structure video on YouTube. Let me see, argument structure. How to get cheated on. Okay, you don't gotta do much. Explain for dummies. Argument structure explained for dummies. Something simple. 5-minute advanced reading. There's a 10-minute video. There's a 5-minute video. I'll choose the 5-minute. Philosophical reasoning, how to argue. Of course, that's a crash course. We're not doing crash course right now. We're gonna listen to Snap language and let's see what he talks about. And apparently, this is part 1 of 2.
When we talk, write, or tell a story, we want to communicate something. Sometimes the information is pretty straightforward, as in 1 + 1 = 2, but a lot of times what we share is not so straightforward, so we may need to argue the point.
In my head, this is gonna help me, so just bear with me. Myself needs to bear.
But when someone presents an argument, you don't simply accept it, or do you? Shouldn't you analyze it to see if it's a sound argument?
Language.
Stick around and let's talk about analyzing
This one
the
is an
argument.
LSAT prep affiliate. Well, this, but not LSAT Max affiliate. This is just random YouTube video.
I'm Mark Franco. An argument or
You got a
a logical
PhD, though.
argument is a
Okay,
set of
Dr. Frank.
ideas put together to support a point. For example, this is a very simple argument. You like Japanese food, so you love the sushi restaurant. The claim is that because you like this, you'll also like that. But is it a good argument? If you understand really well what an argument is, you can then build strong arguments that support your ideas when you speak or write. And of course, when you listen to or read someone's arguments, You can also make sure that the arguments are well built or convincing. To build an argument, you need statements or claims. One of these claims is a conclusion. The other claims are premises. They provide evidence to support your conclusion. Let's look at a very simple example. Hawaii has hot weather year-round and beautiful beaches, so it is the best place for a vacation. There are three claims in this argument. The main point, or conclusion, is that Hawaii is the best place for a vacation. Two premises support this claim. One, Hawaii has hot weather year-round, and two, Hawaii has beautiful beaches. Let's see how well this argument works. What supports the point that Hawaii is the best place for a vacation? One of the premises used as evidence is that it's hot there year-round. Well, if you like hot weather, yes, but what if you don't? What if you'd rather go skiing? The other premise is that Hawaii has beautiful beaches.
What I'm understanding is this is not a strong argument, but they have their two premises of hot weather year-round and beautiful beaches, and their conclusion the author is trying to convey for their argument is that it's the best place for vacation. However, it is flawed because who said?
How do you find beautiful? Why beaches in Hawaii?
Exactly.
Aren't there other places in the world with beautiful beaches?
Like
What if you prefer the mountains or the city? We're not trying to prove
Like
or
Chicago's
disprove
movie.
that Hawaii is a
The
good
Shy
place
is
for a
out, by
vacation.
the way.
We're
I'm
simply
motivated.
analyzing the
like it.
argument in this
We finna watch
example.
The Shy after.
Even if you agree
And
that
eat
Hawaii
tacos.
is the great vacation spot, you may decide that this argument doesn't make a good case for Hawaii. Let's look at another example. See if you can identify the claims and which is presented as the conclusion and which are the premises that support that conclusion. Cell phones pose serious risks to their users. Several studies have shown a correlation between cell phone use and the development of
The conclusion is that cell phones pose serious risk to the users. The premise is that there's several studies that show that the correlation between the development of tumors and cell phones.
and tumors, Ardell. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, classifies cell phones as a possible cause of cancer. Pause the video now if you need time to identify claims. Premise 1 is here.
The premise is the international
Premise
agency
2
as
is
well.
here.
And that's two, and
The
then
main
three is
point
at
or
the
the
top.
conclusion is here. But wait, before you swear never to use a cell phone again, let's analyze the argument. Look at the premises again and ask questions.
The premise says it's a
Are there
possible
problems
cause.
with these premises? Is there sufficient evidence to support the
Yeah,
conclusion?
because give me a case where it directly correlated.
Researchers have found a correlation between cell phone use and the development
But no
of brain
example.
tumors. How good were these studies?
Exactly.
A correlation does not
I
mean
would
that
be a
cell
good
phones
lawyer. Just
were
get me past
the
this
cause.
test. Just get me past the
Are there
test.
studies maybe that found no correlation? The second premise is that they classified cell phones as a possible cause of cancer. A possible cause of cancer means the evidence is not definitive. Did they make that classification based on the same studies mentioned in premise 1? If so, this premise is a bit redundant. Again, right or wrong, we're just analyzing the argument. As a critical thinker, you must challenge your assumptions and other people's assumptions. Just because something is in writing doesn't mean it's the fact or the truth. Even if a conclusion is based on facts, it doesn't mean it's a good conclusion. You may want to take another look at our video about distinguishing fact from opinion for more information on this. Snap Language has videos about reading, writing, and other topics. Knowing how to use the language well helps you think critically. Therefore, you should subscribe to this channel so you can
I wouldn't mind watching.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it.
And then after I'm
Base
coming from
44,
Alpha
a
Waves
complete
while I'm
AI
taking the
creation
test.
platform.
Because
Describe what
LSAT
you
Max
want.
said I could do that.
And
The previous video was about understanding how an argument is built so we can read it critically and see if the argument is logical.
Let me
I'm sure you watched that
reply
video
to memory.
first. Now,
LSAT
one way to analyze the argument is to Look closely at the evidence the writer presents and ask if it is relevant and sufficient. So stick around and let's talk about evaluating the evidence. Hi, welcome to Snap Language. Mark Franco here. So to build an argument, we present a series of claims that lead to a conclusion. Of course, the premises in the argument must support the conclusion in a way that makes sense. Of course. You'd be surprised though, even an argument that appears to make sense may not be really strong. It may not even be a valid argument. Let's look at a fairly obvious example first. Xtown is a great place to live. It has many parks and recreation areas where you can relax and exercise. Its parks have vast green areas including trees and wildflowers. The Xtown Public Library was founded in 1921, making it one of the libraries in the area.
Hi,
In this simple
how are you?
paragraph, the topic
Good.
is Xtown. The point the author wants to make is that Xtown is a great place to live. The author presented 3 premises to support this conclusion. Now, looking at each premise closely, the first is that Xtown has many parks and recreation areas. That's actually good evidence. Most people would agree that this makes any town a good place to live. The next premise is that the parks are green and beautiful. Well, that's more information about the parks, though. What else is there? The final premise is that Xtown has an old library.
But that doesn't
That's
prove that
great,
it's the
but
greatest place to
the
live.
conclusion is that it's a great place to live.
Why?
Having an old library is interesting, but it's not quite relevant to that conclusion. That's not very closely related to the claim. It doesn't provide adequate support. So pretty parks is good evidence. An old library, not so much. Is that all? Typically, when you think of a good place to live, you think of safety, good jobs and schools, shops and restaurants, good transportation, and so forth. The author here said nice things about Xtown, but one relevant piece of evidence isn't quite enough to support a conclusion. Xtown is a very safe place to live. Take a quick stroll around town and you will likely run into friendly and helpful people. A study showed a 60% decrease in robberies and burglaries in recent years. No violent crimes were reported last year. What's the point or the conclusion here?
Fact.
Does the author present sufficient evidence to support that conclusion?
Yes. The point
Is the
is that it's a
evidence
safe place to live.
relevant to
It's
the
relevant because a 60%
Pause
decrease
the
in
video and see
robberies
if
and
you can answer
burglaries.
this
Of
question.
course, my brain works typically fast. I pick
Did you
up
pause the
information
video?
pretty fast.
The main point here is that Xtown is a safe place to live. Starting from the bottom here, no one reported any violent
By
crimes
wisdom, the
last
house
year.
was built.
Yes,
Into
that's
understanding
relevant
it is
to being a
established.
safe place. But what about previous years? Maybe last year was different somehow? The writer also mentioned no violent crimes. How about other types of crimes? But overall, no violent crime could mean it's a safe place, so let's say it's okay evidence for now. Besides, we must consider all the evidence, so let's continue. There was a 60% reduction in crimes. That sounds good. Well, that's 60% of what number? If there were, say, 1,000 crimes before, 60% fewer than 1,000 is still a lot of crimes. A writer often includes a study and statistics or data because they provide strong support to a claim, and readers tend to believe this type of information. As critical readers, we know sometimes it only sounds good. We still need to ask questions to see if any piece of information truly supports the main point, regardless where the information comes from. But we still read still a lot of crimes. Before,
Relevant, but
60% of what number? If there were, say, 1,000 crimes before, 60% fewer than
That's
1,000
true.
is still a lot of crimes. A writer often includes a study and statistics or data because they provide strong support to a claim, and readers tend to believe this type of information. As critical readers, we know sometimes it only sounds good. We still need to ask questions to see if any piece of information truly supports the main point, regardless where the information comes from. Finally, you'll run into a lot of friendly, helpful people in Exam. The point is that it's a safe place,
We need
not
the, like
how
you said,
nice
the
the people
statistics
are.
and the number.
As you can see, even when it appears there's good information to support a conclusion, you should always evaluate the evidence. Did the author present sufficient information? Is all the information good and relevant to the conclusion? In this paragraph, not so much. I'm not saying you should never believe anything you read. If not so much. I'm not saying you should never believe anything you read. If we trust the source, it's very likely the writer will do their best to support their claims and provide sufficient and relevant information. But we don't want to learn something that's not very accurate, right? We don't want people to persuade us to believe something unless they give us very good reasons to do so. So we should always read critically, always make sure conclusions are logical and accurate and supported by sufficient and relevant information. Is that all? Yes, pretty much. So next time you read
I
something,
love how it's so
look
logical to the
closely.
point. Like that's all.
I often put
You need
extra
sufficient
information in the
information
description
and
box
evidence
below
has
the
to be
video,
logically
so
reasoned.
take a look.
Let me use the specific
So
words.
next time you, is that all right? And supported by,
conclusions are
always make sure conclusions
credible.
are logical and accurate. And
Logical,
supported by,
credible, and accurate. I'm gonna put snap language. I have to make sure these things.
always make sure
This is the conclusion of his 2 videos. Make sure conclusions are logical, accurate,
conclusions are logical and accurate and supported by
and supported by sufficient and relevant
sufficient and relevant information. Is that all?
and credibility.
Yes, pretty much. So next time you read something,
That's all.
look closely. I often put extra
said, yeah,
information
pretty
in the
much.
description box below a video, so take a look. There are more things you can do to read critically, but that's all for this video. Take a look. I often put extra information in the description box below a video, so take a look.
Be
There
accurate,
are more things you can do to read critically, but
be
that's
credible.
all for this video.
Critical reading is important in
Maybe you do something I didn't mention here, so put it in the comments.
academic reading, writing, listening, speaking, but also in everyday life. Critical
And
thinking, understanding, interpretation.
critical eyes. Yeah.
What did he say?
Read critically.
Use your critical eyes.
Those critical eyes.
God is good.
By
Nice guy. He only made this about 2017. This how many years ago was that? 2017. Pretty long time ago. Not too long, but okay. Politician. Homelessness is a serious problem with further government spending. I need to get off my phone. My mind is 1,000 places at once. Study until you can't get it wrong. Fall in love with taking care of yourself. Fall in love with deep healing and pattern and the path of it. Fall in love with becoming the best version of yourself. With patience, compassion, and respect to your own journey. Dear me, don't fall back into your old pattern just because they're familiar. I wanted to do aerial yoga, but I have to figure that out. Oh, I didn't even enter this on. I have to figure out when this first financial bank scholarship is due. I have to have a public post on Facebook or Instagram. Well, honestly, I don't even know what that is. I'm not as passionate about everything else. And like that's mad like ghetto. Like for publicity, y'all are trying to tell me y'all won't give me $2,000. Maybe next year. I've entered my fair share of video scholarships. No, I lied. I'm gonna look it up. First Financial Bank scholarship. Let's just do. It's an optional post, so you don't have to really post. Well, I'm gonna enter that scholarship because I need it. It didn't feel right in my soul to just brush it off. I feel like I answered this already, in a way. I definitely think and I was looking at my credit card and that's what led me to even want to apply to the scholarships. I felt the heart there. I'm trying to pay a little bit more than what they're asking and budget, understanding building the habits of needs and wants, and paying more than a minimum balance, ideally paying full statements by the due date, prevents unnecessary interest and keeps the utilization low. I'm literally 51 minutes in just lollygagging. Well, I'm not lollygagging. I'm doing things that are essentially important to my prep, clearing the mind, and doing all the professional tasks that need to be done. I definitely believe I uploaded this, but I also saved a lot of my old TikTok videos because I'm gonna repost them with my music because I believe that makes sense. I definitely applied for this. I think I'm gonna make, that's a content idea. I'm gonna tag them and I'm gonna follow them and I'm gonna talk about credit because I think that's important for us to talk about, especially since I don't even have the Instagram app. Especially since that's something that's very important for us to understand. And me being a fiscal policy advocate, I think it's very important to talk about credit. So I'm gonna definitely follow the First Financial Bank. This is a Texas type of thing. Is there a loading emoji? No, this is absolutely unnecessary, but I honestly would end my education after law school. There's nothing else for me to learn. I've learned all I need to learn, received the doctorates, and nothing else I need to learn. I went from Benjamin Edwards High School to DC to Commerce College to Loading because I'm pursuing my law degree. Look at a girl that just loves learning, huh? Just loves education. No longer need to consume. Why didn't I get this first? Maybe because the black was cheaper. Let's see. Are you gonna go or today's the last day? It's 99. It's 8.99. Granted, I'm keeping it what I have. Get some alcohol. Rubbing alcohol. Not me shopping. This is so embarrassing. Trust and believe. I'm just having a off day. That's all. I honestly don't believe in sabotage. I just feel like it's just doesn't do anything new for me. But I have some. Really not believe it. Comedy nice, kinda thing. Nice, kinda glass. With that camera. Good kinda thing. We'll post it up. I'm trying to figure out what post-it notes I had. I have a bunch, so I get some. I could have sworn I made like a whole kind of thing here. Oh, I made a goals list. Made a goals list, and I got everything from my wants, but I only had 3 wants. I did needs. Some of the needs I literally could have not done. I accomplished one of them. Or 2 of them. actually, I did do that. I don't know what that means. I did do some LSAT prep. 3 hours contributed, which I have done more than that. LSAT prep schedule. I'm just pending these. I didn't do the LSAT here. I was unable to do this. I cannot do those things for fully functional adults. I got all of my wants, apparently. Well, this wouldn't matter because so the only thing that I have left to accomplish for 2025, and I revisited 6 months because it's August 26th, I looked at it August 5th, is full-time remote position, part-time remote position, as well as a vehicle. And I believe God will allow me to effectively get that within the next 6 months in a successful manner. But what I need to do, I want to be able to do is have a steady schedule, consistent. I'm happy this is a lie because I can just like skip to what I'm actually doing the work for you. 10 reasons why law school, 10 reasons why music industry. My notes are quite interesting. What am I recently deleted? So maybe it's in there. I just want to make a whole table. Maybe it's in my budgeting section. Interesting. Probably just need to focus. And I'm having a hard time doing so. I think until I looked at the question, glitched out for a good. I'm really beginning at 2:45. I said I wanted to at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's just like I want to rip my hair out. It's like so embarrassing. Retake it. I'm starting now. Again. So I know 81:21 is when I actually begin into video. It's like, let's use the bathroom. Oh goodness. There's nothing else for me to do but study. This was a rip. Like I'm gonna end this video and I'll restart it.